The portfolio case slips from my hands and hits the hardwood with a sharp thud. The sound rings through Nadia's kitchen, loud and final. Marcus catches my eye, guilt written all over his face. Just a second ago, I'd heard Nadia say, "We need to start making plans to get her out now that the business deal is coming through." Her voice carried from the hallway, clear as day. 7 months. That's how long I've been living here, paying rent that's barely any less than what I'd pay anywhere else in this overpriced Denver suburb. Today was supposed to be my unofficial anniversary in their house. Instead, it's the day I find out the truth. Sienna. Sienna? Nadia spins around, hand flying to her throat. I didn't hear you come in. I want to say something, anything. But the words stick. I feel hollow, like they've scooped out everything inside me and left just the shell me, standing there in their spotless kitchen, marble countertops shining, fruit bowl perfectly arranged. Turns out, letting me stay was never about family. It was just a financial band-aid, and now they can't wait to rip it off. You're home early, Marcus says, taking a careful step backward, already retreating from what's coming. Classic Marcus, always letting Nadia take the lead, always slipping away from anything messy. I think back to that dinner in March, when they laid out this living arrangement like a gift. Nadia had reached across the table, squeezed my hand, and said, "What kind of sister would I be if I didn't help you get back on your feet after grad school?" I was so grateful, not just for the room, but for what felt like real support. I paid my hefty rent every month, cooked dinner 3 nights a week, babysat Kai when their sitter flaked, cleaned bathrooms, vacuumed stairs, listened to Nadia vent about her ungrateful clients. I did everything I could. Looking back, the first warning sign came last month when I mentioned staying through winter. Nadia's smile got tight. Her fingers tapped a little too fast on her coffee mug. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves," she said. Now I get it. I steady my hands, pick up my portfolio from the floor. 5 years of design school and a master's degree taught me how to keep my cool when it counts. I straighten up and look Nadia in the eye. I heard everything I say. My voice sounds steady, even though I'm buzzing inside. Let's talk honestly for once. Nadia's cheeks flush, but she recovers fast. We were just discussing future plans for the nursery. Her hand drifts to her stomach, even though she's not showing yet. Nadia. My voice cuts her off. I heard you. The business deal came through, so now you don't need my rent money anymore. Marcus edges back again, like he can disappear if he just tries hard enough. He always does this, lets Nadia handle things while he shrinks into the background. Right now, he could be a stranger. Nadia's embarrassment turned sharp. Now she's standing tall, chin up. You shouldn't eavesdrop in someone else's home, Sienna. Someone else's home. Not our home. Not my home. Someone else. The words hit hard. I've been here 7 months, doing everything I could, but I was always just a guest. Never really family, no matter the blood. How long do I have? I ask, gripping my portfolio tighter. Inside are sketches for the downtown contract, the one shot I have at making something happen in my career. The one reason I've needed to stay close to the city. We can discuss details later, Nadia says, turning businesslike. We should sit down and work out a timeline that's fair to everyone. Fair. As if anything about this has been fair. I nod once. Then I turn and climb the stairs to my temporary bedroom. Each step feels heavier than the last. I'm staring down the possibility of being homeless, right as I'm working on the biggest project of my life. Behind me, I catch Nadia whispering, sharp and frantic, "This is exactly why we needed to plan this carefully." I keep going. My mind races through options and backup plans. One thing is crystal clear now, I was never family to them. I was just a stopgap, a convenient solution. And now I've got a problem to solve too. The next day, while Nadia and Marcus are outside, I sit at the family computer. The screen glows and, without meaning to, I'm staring at Nadia's email. The browser auto-logged into her account when I tried to check my deadlines. My fingers hover over the keyboard, frozen. I can't pretend anymore. The truth is staring me in the face, contract finalized. $185,000 commission, right there in the subject line. The email's from 5 weeks back. My stomach twists as I scroll past all those congratulations. from their business partner. They weren't struggling. Not for weeks, maybe not for months. I grip the edge of the desk, feeling sick as I read further. We need to discuss how to diplomatically handle the Sienna situation now that we're back on solid ground. Nadia wrote that. The pregnancy gives us the perfect reason without seeming callous. The perfect reason. Like I'm just some appliance to be boxed up and put in storage. I close the email. Stand up, legs shaky. For months, I paid rent, cooked their meals, cleaned their house, watched their kid. I thought I was helping family through a tough spot. Turns out I was just convenient. The truth stings sharp, cold, impossible to ignore. That night, Nadia sets the table with this weird precision. She puts me in what I now realize is the guest seat, as far from Marcus as you can get. She serves dinner standing up, one hand always drifting to her small baby bump, almost like she's reminding me why I'm not needed anymore. Marcus sits there, arms crossed, staring at his plate. Marcus has something he wants to talk about, Nadia says, all breezy, as she dishes up the pot roast I made before work. He said you've been overly friendly with him. The words hit hard. I look at Marcus, waiting for him to deny it. He won't meet my eyes. He just gives this tiny nod. That's not true, I say, my voice steady even though my heart's racing. And you know it. Nadia's hand goes to her stomach again, like a shield. We've also noticed some of the people you've had over when we weren't home. My fork clatters onto my plate. What people? I haven't had a single visitor since I moved in. Kai mentions strangers, she says, talking about their 6-year-old, who's at a sleepover. Children don't lie about these things. The lies just keep piling up, ridiculous and impossible to argue with. My breathing goes shallow. It's obvious now, they're inventing reasons to kick me out. They don't need my help anymore, so they're pushing me aside. Nadia sits down, slow and careful, like she's playing a role. I think you might be happier somewhere else, especially since we'll need your room for the baby very soon. Of course. I ask, how soon? Not that I expect a real answer. 2 weeks should be plenty of time, Nadia says, slicing her meat like she's cutting a deal. The painters are coming the 3rd week. 2 weeks. In this market. My heart pounds. Marcus clears his throat. We checked online. There are plenty of places available. With 8 to 15-month wait lists, I shoot back, thinking of all the rental apps I've already sent out, just in case. And first and last month's rent, plus a deposit. Nadia gives me a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. You've been working and living here rent-free for months. Surely you've saved enough. Rent-free? I almost laugh. I push away from the table, grab my folder of bank statements, and set them in front of her, showing the highlighted transfers. I paid rent every month. On time. At the rate you set. Nadia barely glances at them. We hate to do this, but family comes first. Our growing family needs this space. Family comes first. The words burn. I gather my statements. My downtown client expects daily check-ins for 3 more months. If I move farther out, I'm looking at endless commutes or risking my biggest contract yet. Their lies have wrecked any trust we had. And if I end up homeless, everything I've worked for is gone. Back in my room, clutching proof that I always did my part, I can't quiet the question running through my head. Do I call them out and risk getting tossed immediately, or keep my head down and plan my way out in secret, protecting my job and, maybe, what's left of my dignity? Standing up for what's right sounds good, until you realize losing your home means losing everything you've built. What do you do when principles crash straight into reality? I slip the bank statements back in the folder, mind racing, and that awful, metallic taste of betrayal in my mouth. Nadia wastes no time. Before I've even had my coffee the next morning, my phone lights up with 3 calls from aunts and cousins. How could you leave your sister when she's expecting? How could you leave your sister? Aunt Lydia's voice weighs a ton, heavy with family guilt. Nadia told us you found a place closer to work. I thought family meant more to you. I squeeze the phone tight, staring out the kitchen window. There's Nadia, watering her petunias, glancing up with that sweet, innocent look she's perfected. It's not that simple, I try to say, but Aunt Lydia's already off and running, lecturing me about sisterly duty like she's quoting from a time capsule. When I get home that night, I find 4 cardboard boxes stacked in the middle of my room. My design portfolios, once carefully organized, are crammed in, edges bent, pages wrinkled. Fabric samples tangle with shampoo bottles. I started packing for you, Nadia says, leaning in the doorway, one hand on her just showing belly. Just trying to help. I spot a small tear in the corner of the board I need for tomorrow's client meeting. It's subtle, but obvious if you know where to look. Oh, did that get damaged? Nadia's voice is all fake concern. Moving is always hectic, right? The next morning, my phone can't connect to Wi-Fi. I try the password, nothing. 3 failed tries, and I'm knocking on their bedroom door. Marcus answers in his robe, eyes on the floor. Changed the password yesterday. Security, he mumbles. I'll text it to you later. My presentation's due in 3 hours. I scoop up my stuff and leave early, praying the coffee shop's internet holds up for the last-minute edits. That afternoon, Nadia calls as I'm heading out. Just wanted you to know the painters are coming Monday for your room. She stops herself. Our nursery, I mean. That's 10 days early, I remind her. We found someone sooner. Lucky, right? Apartment hunting swallows my evenings. Every application is the same story. We've selected another candidate. The 4th rejection comes with a little honesty over 120 applicants for a 1-bedroom in my price range. Cynthia lets me crash on her couch, at least until her boyfriend moves in. Just for the weekend, she says, but her face says otherwise. That night, I park behind the design studio, push the seat back as far as it'll go. Sleep comes in fits, broken by street noise and the gear shift poking my leg. Temps drop into the low 30s. My jacket might as well be paper. By morning, my hands are too cold to hold a pencil right. My client sees the shadows under my eyes. Are you sure you can meet our deadline, Sienna? The presentation feels unfinished. Absolutely, I say. I lie. The designs aren't as sharp as they should be. The next few nights, I bounce between cheap motels and my car. Every morning, I sneak back into Nadia and Marcus's place to shower and change, making sure I'm gone before they get home. Even using the bathroom means planning every step, like I'm sneaking behind enemy lines. I eat in my car now, avoiding the kitchen. Takeout eats through my savings, money I need for a deposit. The cold seeps in. When it drops below freezing, I give up and pay for another motel, even though I know I can't keep this up. My bank account keeps shrinking. My anxiety does the opposite. A perfect, ugly balance. You look like hell, Ellen says when I drag myself into the office. She's new, just joined the team. We've barely talked. I mumble something about insomnia and try to bury myself in work. Later, Ellen sets a coffee on my desk and pulls up a chair. My apartment has a pull-out couch, she says. It's not fancy, but it's yours for as long as you need. I reach for my wallet. I can pay. No. She covers my hand with hers, firm, warm. I was homeless once too. This is how we break the cycle. For weeks, I've been holding it together. Now, I almost don't. I just nod, grateful. Saturday comes, and it's Nadia's baby shower. I almost don't go. Skipping it would just spark more family gossip, though, so I show up with a gift-wrapped bassinet and pretend everything's fine. The place is packed, family everywhere, friends I barely know. Everywhere I look, piles of presents. I set mine down on the dining table, the same table where Nadia once told me I wasn't really family. Nadia stands up, glass of sparkling cider in hand, and calls for everyone's attention. She wants to thank me for understanding their need for family space and graciously moving out. Suddenly, every eye in the room lands on me. Don't you want to say something about your new place? It's like they're all waiting for me to play along, to keep up the story. Smile, lie politely, let Nadia look good. Pretend it was all my idea. Something in me snaps. Fear's been my constant companion for weeks, but now? It's like it gets drowned out by something quiet and solid. I say, I don't have a new place yet. My voice doesn't even shake. The housing market's tough, as you all know. Silence falls over the room, heavy, awkward. My aunt's wine glass hovers in midair. My mom's smile freezes. Nadia's cheeks flush bright red. But I don't look away. For the first time, I decide I don't have to protect Nadia's image if it means erasing my own truth. Admitting it doesn't fix my problems, but suddenly I can breathe again, really breathe, like I haven't in weeks. 3 days later, Ellen sets me up with her landlord, a sweet older woman who owns a few shoebox apartments on the edge of Denver. It's tiny, Ellen warns me as we drive over. But it's clean, and the rent's not bad. On the way, she tells me her story, about losing her inheritance, her brother kicking her out, her last year of college spent couch hopping. Blood doesn't guarantee loyalty, she says, taking a sharp turn. Sometimes family is just whoever shows up when everyone else disappears. A week later, I sign the lease. The studio's barely big enough for a bed and a table, maybe 320 square feet, but the windows face east, perfect for morning light. The landlord, probably swayed by Ellen's praise, skips the security deposit. You can move in tomorrow, she says, handing me the keys. First month's rent next week. That night, Ellen and her friends show up with a futon, mismatched dishes, a little desk someone rescued from an office clear-out. By midnight, it looks like someone actually lives there. It looks like home. My home. I hang my Denver skyline print over the desk. It's not much, but it's mine. Every night, I write down everything, every exchange with Nadia and Marcus, every accusation, every small cruelty. The record grows. It's my own truth, finally laid out. 15 months go by. The phone rings and Nadia's name flashes on the screen. First time since I left. I look at it, remembering the girl who used to sleep in her car, afraid of everything. That girl's gone. I answer. Hello, Nadia. Sienna. Her voice sounds different, shaky. How are you? I'm good. I'm working on a new restaurant design. I keep it neutral, not cold, not warm. Professional. Long pause. That's good. Another pause. I wasn't sure you'd pick up. I wait. The silence between us is thick with everything unsaid. We've hit a rough patch, she finally says. Her voice wobbles. The business collapsed. The house, we lost it last month. My hand tightens around the phone. For a second, I'm back in that car in February, breath fogging up the windows, toes numb. Where are you staying? I ask. We're in a motel. Her voice cracks. Just for now. The kids, she stops, pulls herself together. We have two now. Kai and Sophie. She's 4 months old. I jot down notes on my sketchpad. 2 kids. No home. Business gone. I approach this like a design problem. What's the situation? What do they have? What are the options? How long can you stay at the motel? I ask. 3 more days. Maybe 5 if Marcus picks up some work. I stay quiet, don't rush to offer help. She sounds more desperate as I hold back. We've applied for apartments, but the bankruptcy, she trails off. I nod, even though she can't see me. Denver's housing scene hasn't gotten any easier. The children shouldn't suffer for adult problems, Nadia says, slipping back into her old persuasive tone. They're innocent in all this. That hits me hard. I close my eyes and I'm back in the Honda, curled up under a thin blanket, January wind sneaking through a cracked window. I used to be innocent too. I get it, kids shouldn't have to go through this. I keep my voice steady. No one should. Look, I realize things weren't great when you lived with us, Nadia says. We weren't our best selves, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. Everyone hits rough patches sometimes. Not that bad? That casual shrug stirs something in me. I remember my boxes stacked in the hallway, my design materials ruined. Marcus changing the Wi-Fi password on me when I needed it for work, said it was for security. Nadia? I ask, trying to keep my voice even. What exactly are you asking for? She hesitates. We need a place to stay, just until we get back on our feet. A month, maybe 2. Her voice drops. Blood is thicker than water, Sienna. We're family. Family. That word used to mean something. Now it just feels empty. Nadia still sees me as a safety net, not as a person who was hurt and left behind. For a second, her tears make me want to help. Should I open my home to the people who once left me homeless? Or is it healthier for everyone if I keep my hard-won boundaries? Let me think about it and call you back, I say, ending the call before I can start second-guessing myself. I dial Ellen right away. Her voice is warm, familiar, grounding. They lost everything, I explain, pacing around my tiny apartment. They want to stay with me. How do you feel about that? Ellen asks, getting right to the point. Conflicted. They're in trouble, but I trail off, glancing at my studio, my sanctuary, my peace that I fought to get back. Remember where you were a year ago, Ellen says gently. Remember how far you've come. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. We spend the next hour searching for family shelters and housing help in Denver. Ellen sends me links while I pull together info about rental assistance, food banks, emergency housing. This is real help, Ellen tells me. More helpful than sacrificing your own well-being. By midnight, I've put together a full list of resources. The kind of help I wish I'd had: practical, thorough, and respectful. My phone rings again just as I'm getting ready for bed. It's Marcus this time, not Nadia. Sienna, I need to tell you something. His voice sounds tired, but honest in a way I don't remember. Those things Nadia said about you when you lived with us, about being inappropriate with me, none of it was true. I sit on my bed, stunned. 15 months late, but here it is. Why are you telling me this now? I ask. Because we need your help, he admits. But you deserve the truth first. When we hang up, I check my email. There's a message from my mother. The whole family knows about Nadia and Marcus's mess now. Subject line: we need to talk about your sister. I close my laptop and look around my apartment, the space that's finally, truly mine. Tomorrow, I'll give Nadia information, not a place to stay. Tonight, I get to sleep in peace. 2 days later, there's a sharp knock at my door just after 7. No warning, just 3 quick knocks that echo through my place. I'm halfway through dinner, pasta at my little table, when I hear my dad's voice. Sienna? It's Dad and Mom. We need to talk. My stomach twists as I open the door. They're standing together in the hallway. Mom's fiddling with her purse, snapping it open and shut. Dad looks smaller than usual, shoulders a little slumped. Can we come in? Mom asks, her eyes already scanning my place. I let them in, all 320 square feet. The bed that's also my couch, the tiny kitchenette, the drawing table where I've started to rebuild my life. Dad clears his throat. We've talked to Nadia and Marcus. They're in real trouble, honey. They need somewhere to stay, Mom adds, her voice soft, coaxing. She's your sister, and those are your niece and nephew. I stay quiet, just letting the silence stretch until Dad jumps in again. Just for a month or 2, until they find something. Like, that's a reasonable compromise. Family sticks together in hard times, Dad says. Mom finally stops fidgeting with her purse. If you can't help them, I don't know how we'll manage holidays. It'll be unbearable. The threat just hangs there, heavy and unspoken. I take a breath and head to my desk, picking up a folder I hoped I'd never have to share. Go ahead, sit down, I say, nodding at the bed and the one chair by the desk. I stay on my feet. I hand them each a stapled packet. This is a list of every housing assistance program in Denver I could find. Section 8, vouchers, family shelters with real privacy, rental help, churches that'll cover security deposits. I point to the highlighted lines. These are the ones that focus on families with young kids. My mom just stares at the papers like they're written in another language. But you have space here, she says. I don't. Actually, I cut in, quiet but firm. This apartment barely fits me. But that's not really the problem, is it? I perch on the edge of my desk and look at the people who raised me. When Nadia and Marcus kicked me out, I spent nights in my car. In February. It was 15 degrees outside. My dad's face goes pale. You never told us that, he says. Would you have believed me over Nadia? I ask. She told everyone I left by choice. My voice stays steady, but my hands won't stop shaking. While I searched for safe parking spots, they were at home with 4 bedrooms and those heated floors Nadia loved to show off. Mom looks down at the list again, her fingers tracing the names of the organizations. I rebuilt my life without family support, I continue. I found housing, kept my job, built a new support network. They can do the same with these resources. I tap the packets in their hands. Everything they need is right there. 2 weeks later, we're all sitting around my parents' dining table for the first family dinner since Nadia and Marcus's finances imploded. The air is thick, awkward, tense, nobody really eating. Nadia wears her victimhood like it's designer, perfectly tailored. It's just hard to understand, she says, looking straight at Mom. Sienna has space, but she won't help family in need after everything we did for her. That's my cue. I stand up, pull folders from my bag, and hand them out, calm but deliberate. This is a timeline, I say, staying on my feet while they flip through the pages. From the day I moved in with Nadia and Marcus to the day they forced me out. It's all here, dates, conversations, everything. My rent payments are on page 2. The accusations Nadia made are on page 3, with statements from people who were actually there. Nadia's face turns red. This is ridiculous. You're just trying to make us look. It's accurate, Marcus says quietly, cutting her off. Everything she wrote happened exactly that way. Mom covers her mouth as she reads. Dad flips through, page after page, getting more and more uncomfortable. I meet each of their eyes. I'm not sharing this to hurt anyone, I say. But I can't let this story get rewritten. I learned something this year. I breathe in, slow and steady. Family doesn't have to be blood. It's respect, honesty, and support. A few weeks later, Ellen tells me Nadia and Marcus applied for housing programs from my list. Turns out, with young kids, they got emergency help. As for my parents, we're in this weird limbo. Tense phone calls, awkward texts. Not really estranged, but not mended either. Then, one random Tuesday, I find an envelope in my mailbox. My mom's handwriting covers the front. Inside, there's just one sheet of stationery, folded in thirds. I hold it for a moment, not opening it, wondering which bridges you rebuild and which ones you leave burned. Sunlight pours through the windows of my condo, painting gold across the hardwood I picked out myself. It's been 8 months since I bought this place, and I still catch myself stopping to take it all in, these walls, this safe space, all mine. The nameplate on my desk glints in the sun, Sienna Hartwell Designs, building beauty from blank slates. I run my fingers over the letters, remembering nights in my car, doubting if I'd make it. Now, my office is 10 minutes away downtown, and my client list keeps growing. Photos fill the condo, Ellen laughing on our Boulder hike, our makeshift Thanksgiving dinner with 4 of us squeezed around my tiny table. The day my Westbrook hotel design launched, Ellen and our friends cheering in the background. Not one photo shows Nadia or Marcus. I adjust the last centerpiece. The doorbell rings, and just like that, it's happening, my first real housewarming party. Not someone else's space, not a cramped studio where I used to tiptoe around my own life, but a home I dreamed up, one that feels like every part of me finally got a say. This place is absolutely gorgeous, Ellen says, stepping inside with a bottle of champagne. Then everyone else follows, colleagues, friends, neighbors. People who showed up when I needed them. You've created something spectacular here. The afternoon blurs into laughter and easy conversation. Wine pours, voices rise. It's nothing like those dinners at Nadia and Marcus's, where I spent the whole night calculating how small and grateful I should be, how invisible I could get away with feeling. A toast? Jackson calls from across the room. To Sienna and her incredible new home. Glasses lift, but Ellen steps forward. She catches my eye, her voice softer now. If I may, she says. I want to toast something beyond these beautiful walls. She's looking right at me. To Sienna's resilience. When I met you, you were sleeping in your car and still showing up to work with brilliant designs. You never broke. You never gave up on your integrity. You never stopped knowing your worth. My eyes sting. Ellen keeps going, gentle but steady. You taught me that family isn't about blood. It's about loyalty and truth. You've built more than a home. You've built a life that actually honors who you are. Her words hit me deep, warming places I thought would always stay frozen. Later, after the last guest slips out, my phone buzzes. It's my mom, confirming coffee tomorrow. We've been patching things up, slowly, conversation by conversation. The cafe we picked sits halfway between our houses, neutral ground. She's already there when I arrive, tea in hand, the old timeline document I made spread out on the table. The paper's worn, edges soft, 1,000 creases from her folding and unfolding it. I read it again last night, she says, skipping any small talk. I think I understand a little more each time. I order coffee, sit across from her. That's all I ever wanted for you to understand. She folds the paper back up, careful. I should have seen it sooner, she says. Your father and I, we were so ready to believe Nadia's story. She always sounded so convincing. We talk for almost an hour. For once, it feels easy. As we stand up to go, she mentions Thanksgiving 3 months away. We'd love to have you, she says. And Ellen, if she'd like to come. Any of your friends, really. The house feels too quiet with just your father and me. She means it. The invitation isn't a test or a guilt trip. It's just a door left open. Driving home, I pass Nadia and Marcus's old place. Some young couple lives there now. Their toddler wobbles up and down the driveway on a tricycle, the same spot where I used to unload groceries, trying so hard to fit in. I feel nothing sharp. No ache, no regret. Just a soft sense that this chapter really did close. As I drive past that house, I wonder about healing. Is it about fixing broken bonds, or just making peace with the ones that will always be missing? Sometimes the strongest families are the ones you make for yourself. So, what would you pick? Trying again with the family you were born into, or pouring your love into the people who actually showed up? I turn onto my street, heading home. My home. My foundation. The choice, at last, is all mine.